Beyond the Broom, Jared Allen, take one.
Well, Jared, you and I just a second ago were talking about the fact that this is full circle. 7 years ago, I interviewed you about your foray into curling, and now it's the eve of your participation in the Grand Slam of curling. Make sense of that.
I can't. You know what? I tell you what, sometimes you're just blessed. And the good Lord has blessed me with knowing the right people. And I believe hard work and aspirations pay off, right? I'm a big fan that you have to, it's kind of cliche, but if you believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
I've been lucky to play with some of the top curlers in the world. Played against them, played with them. And so when we had the opportunity for the Slam to be in the U.S., and then for us to be able to put a team together to participate in it, especially after not curling last year, was really cool to be able to do it with Jason Smith, who I've been playing with for pretty much 5 of those 7 years. And then with Johnny and Wayne, it's curling royalty, right? So I think, that's what we were talking back to. Someone asked me about, like, how'd you get into that? I was like, well, my 3 partners have a resume that carry weight wherever they want to go.
Sure.
I was like, I've qualified, I think, for 4 nationals. So I'm like, all right, I'm not a slouch. I'm not a slouch. But I told that to Wayne today. I said, I just consider myself a novice and lucky to be along for the ride. But I think why people are okay with it in the sport is because they've all seen how hard I work. And when I was, up until last year, when we took last year off, we were on the ice almost every day. We put a lot of time and effort in. We traveled the world playing against the top guys in the world. We beat the top guys in the world. We've gotten our faces kicked in by the top guys in the world. But to be sitting here, and I was laughing, and a lot of people that don't know about curling, and you explain them to Grand Slam, everybody thinks that, is this the Olympic qualifier? You're getting ready to go. If you win this, you go to the Olympics.
Right.
And I'm like, no, this is my Olympics.
This is it.
This is it. And so,
Nice.
I really am appreciative. Like, we just were practicing with it was Switzerland was practicing.
Yeah.
Team Switzerland was practicing next to us, and I'm like, were you guys at the Basels? Yeah, we played against you guys in Bern last year, 2 years ago.
You've got some cred.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I played against the top guys in the world. We held our own, but for me, I always like to put myself, I like to humble myself and put myself in a position always learning and always asking questions and just, especially in a game that's not my forte, so to speak. Treat it with respect and then go out there and just try to be the best you can.
Jared, I wonder about that, about legitimacy, and I hear you say that, and you've always had such a respect for this sport, but I wonder if there was a contemplation. When I hear you say, people are saying, what's the cred, what's the resume like? How do you answer that and sort of respond to people who say, should you be there?
Oh, I tell people all the time, life isn't what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
That is what it is. We're trying to take curling to the next level, right?
Yes.
Obviously, being one of the founders of the curling group, being an investor in this, put my money where my mouth is. I've dumped a lot of resources into curling. I think that's was kind of my hiccup, right? When USA Curling they basically blocked me being on Dropkin's team. Dropkin asked me to be an alternate, right? And the conversation I had with them was just like, nobody dumped more resources in than me for this game. Up in those 5 years, we were looking for ways to better the sport. I was paying guys full-time salaries to just curl.
Wow.
Whatever they were making in their jobs, I paid them. I have dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into this sport, right? Because I believe there's something here. I believe that there is a marketability, and not just that, there is an aspect of the game that is so addicting. It's so fun, right? It's all the minute details. And when Nick and I had that conversation to see what, you guys have all turned this into, it's phenomenal. And I think we're on the precipice of it being this. So you go back to, is it legitimacy? Is it here? And it's just like, well, it's a combination of both.
All of that. Yeah.
I'm never going to claim I'm the best, but I won't be the worst. Like, you're not going to be out there just pissing rocks away.
Listen, what has the lead up been? How has it preparation
practice has been good.
Yeah,
practice has been great. I was a little nervous. We started practicing a couple months ago. I hadn't thrown, I didn't throw for like a year. And slide was great. Slide was fine. And, for the big part, the biggest detail in curling is understanding your teammates, right? When you have your slide fundamentals and your release and you can make those adjustments based on feedback getting you, right? Not every shot's going to be great. But, you try to really hone in your margin of error smaller and smaller every time, but it's being able to make those adjustments. The hardest part is when you play with new guys. Is I don't know I don't know Johnny's release, I don't know Wayne's release, I know Jason's. So as lead and as trying to judge weights and as you're trying to sweep, and that's the other thing too. What these young guys are doing on the broom is insane,
crazy,
right? I'm like, I can put a lot of pressure on the broom, but I'm not doing what they're doing on the broom. I'm just trying not to fall down at this point. No, man, I think that's the thing is, and I look at this through the lens of all sports, right? Legitimacy comes with what you put into it, right? Again, do you respect the game? Do you work your butt off to it? Yeah. And then you're gonna have results. I think that's what people won't realize. People always think, oh, it's a God-given talent. Sports are great because yes, there's a God-given talent to it, right? There's people that are more athletic. There's people that have a desire to win that's more than others. But for the most part, 90% of it is what you put into it, you will get out of it. Yeah. If you work your butt off, it's going to pay dividends. And I think that's when I look, that's why I can sit there and talk to teams. Which I played, we played against White, we played against Schuster, we beat Schuster in Nationals. We've done certain things, and people are like, well, we know his teams work their butts off, and that's what we do.
Jared, when I talk to athletes from the Olympics to pro sports all over the world, and there is always an energy and an excitement in the pursuit of a challenge.
Oh yeah,
that's what drives you. And I'm watching you right now talk about this, and I'm seeing this electricity within you, on the verge of another challenge for you. So just on a personal level, what has this all been like to sort of, I don't want to say reignite because I think there's a fire burning within you all the time, but just fire you up to get those juices going in the same way it would have for 12 years in the NFL.
It's cool, man. I mean, as a competitor, you always like competing. Competing's fun. I actually even texted my wife that I was like, I hate being out with my wife and kids. I'm a family man. I do not like being away from my family for durations of time. Yeah. But it's exciting to come here and compete, right? And if you're a competitor and you're a true competitor, you're not a fraud, right? So frauds are afraid of those big moments because you get exposed.
And you've seen them.
Right, 100%, right? And you can have some of the most talented people in the world get exposed in big moments, right? To where my excitement is it's that personal challenge. How much are you going to rise to that big moment? Can I play my best in those big moments, right? Sure. Can I go out there and make the shot when I need to make it, right? Can I sweep my face off for 10 ends, So I think but it's that pursuit of greatness, right? And you cannot accomplish greatness in any aspect of life if you're not in situations to have that. So it was funny. I was at a Bible study a couple weeks ago, and one of the guys in the Bible study brought up a thing. He was like, be careful what you ask God for, right? He said, because if you pray for patience, don't be shocked when you're in a situation where you need to practice patience, right?
Sure.
So it's that same thing. If you say you want to be great at something, or you want to challenge, or you want to push yourself, if you're a type of person that wants to see how you can react, then you can't be afraid to put yourself in situations where you possibly could collapse, be exposed. You have to be okay with that, right? And that's where preparation comes in, right? And that's where what you put into it, what you get out of it. And you got to trust that. And that's always the mindset I've always had. I always make jokes. I'm like, I even tell my kids, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you still might land on a star, right? So that's where that energy comes from and that excitement comes from because the other side of that coin is like you shrivel up, you disappear.
Disappear.
And you disappear into the background, and you never know how great you possibly could be.
A lot of differences between football and curling. One that strikes me is in the biggest moments on the football field, your adrenaline's pumping and you're hunting down that quarterback, and you did it 136 times. In curling, you got to calm the heart rate. Oh. So how do you navigate that?
Be in shape. Right. Practice was rough. I threw 4. I just got in sweeping hard, and I was trying, just trying to throw
that 40-second play clock, man.
I was trying to throw a center guard, and I threw 4 of them to the top 4 foot. I was just like,
slow it down, Jared.
And that's what it was. It was like, all right, you need to go through your routine, right? Take a breath, go through your routine, drop that heart rate, and that is the biggest challenge from football because people ask the question, what transfers from football to curling? I'm like, nothing.
Right.
Obviously the mentality of next shot, next play, right? Yeah. But like you said, where football, your adrenaline works in your favor. Oh my, you have to be in full control of your emotions and of your physical being, right? And so, luckily I pride myself on always being in shape. My wife was texting my wife saying like, man, practice kicked my butt. I was out. She's like, you're never out of breath. And I'm like, it's like that first 12-play drive. You're never ready for it.
Right.
Sweeping hog line to hog line in the altitude, the first one.
I was going to say 6,000 feet above sea level hits differently out here, right?
So I'm good, got out of the system. But yes, you're right. That's another one of those small, like I said earlier in the conversation, is that like curling is so cool because there's so many finite details that matter exponentially. And the ability to bring yourself down, like you said, the ability to calm everything down, to be smooth, be consistent, make good judgment calls. It all matters, and that's what makes it so much fun.
What do the football fans think? And congratulations on your Hall of Fame nod, so well deserved. Do the legions of your football fan followers look at you and go, Jared, what?
Oh yeah, everybody's like, everybody assumes I got into curling from playing in Minnesota, right?
Sure.
No one, and then I tell people like, now I took a bet from a buddy to try to make the Olympics,
right?
And which he has reminded me this week that he's like, you're losing that bet. And I'm like, yeah, but the Grand Slam, I'm trying to sell it. I'm like, I'm playing.
Hey, it's a lot of these teams are going to the Olympics.
That's what I said. I'm like, this is the top 15 teams in the world. This is kind of like the Olympics. Yeah. Like, come on.
I think you're winning that.
I'm like, let me get at least half credit.
Sure.
Let's give me a buyout.
Yeah.
So I think people enjoy seeing what people do afterwards, right? And for me, it's I still follow football, and I do interviews, and we talk about the game, and I've helped coach a little bit, done stuff like that, and I stay involved in the football because football is a fantastic sport. Yeah. But I think the fans do enjoy seeing the depths of people, right?
For sure.
So this is just an added layer of depth of what you can accomplish. So many people are singular athletes, right? I'm like trying to show people like,
no limitations.
Just put your mind into it. Put your effort into it, right? So I think, it's been nothing but supportive. The curling world has been absolutely I tell people all the time, it's one of the coolest like communities. It's just too small. You know what I mean? Like we got to grow that community, but it's so cool because it's welcoming and it takes a special person. And like the football world, like curling, right? If you're not authentic, like they know who's not authentic, right? And those people seem to weed themselves out. And I think that's the cool part about sports. If you're authentic and you got a good community, a good culture around a sport, it's with open arms. Like, I got a text from Colin Hoffman today, right? Oh man, I wish we could be there.
A great game.
Colton, Flash texted me about, hey bro, I think we're playing each other on Thursday. And he was going to come down. We just couldn't get the schedules meet up. He was going to come down and give me sweeping lessons to get ready for this. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that have been so cool about this experience over the last 7 years is the interactions and the willingness for people to help you grow. And I think that's where we go back to that legitimacy question, right? When people see how much effort you're willing to put in, they want to match that effort because now you're like, dude, this is a sport I've been playing for 25 years. We want to see it grow. Yeah. Right? These guys, curlers shouldn't have to be working, as accountants and this to be their side hustle.
To that point, a few more questions for you as we wind down because you've got to get ready for the opener tomorrow, Jared. And team meetings and team practice on arena ice. U.S. curling, 2018, I was there when John won, and I was covering it for the New York Times actually at that time. Okay, yeah. And it really felt like a moment. Yep. And I think it's fair to say maybe the U.S. hasn't capitalized on that moment. 100%. And it feels like it's slipping away.
I agree. I think.
And now there's a slam here in the U.S.
Yeah, and we have no U.S. team, right? Because they're all getting ready for the trials. I get it. And again, I think U.S. curling's missing the mark on that, right? I think, to be honest, I think USA Curling has not done a great job. It sounds like I'm bagging on USA Curling. It's not meant for that. It's just the facts of the matter. They haven't done a great job of promoting their players. When you have a guy that wins gold medal in the fashion that John, in that team did, and talking to Johnny, and they're getting peanuts for signings. You know what I mean? They're doing, it's just like, what are you doing? Like this, they're the best of the best in this moment, right? Yeah. How are we not absolutely ramping up our club memberships? How are we not finding ways to bolster our junior teams, right? Or how are we not promoting the next generation of curlers? And I look at it now, and they shrunk the field down to 4 for the trials. You know what I mean? It used to be 8, then it was 6, now it's 4. So now less people get that exposure, right? You know, for me, I'm like, why wouldn't you make it 8 and give that, you know, because those bottom 4 teams, they're going to continue to grow. It's going to get valuable experience the next time to get there, right?
Yeah.
And so you look at this now, and you look at, you know, who's been the faces of USA curling has been back and forth between John and Dropkin for the last couple of years. I know Casper's playing good, but again, you have 3 teams that nobody arguably outside the world of curling knows about other than John.
Right.
And so I think we've dropped the ball of capturing that momentum. I think we've dropped the ball of creating opportunities for the next generation of curlers outside of that. And that's why I think what we're doing here, you know, with the Grand Slams of curling and the curling group is so important. Yeah. We're taking this is a global sport. And it's like you need to get on board, and it's such a valuable market here in the U.S., I believe, and we've had success at it. So now just imagine if there was an actual budget behind it, if there was an actual team pushing it, right? If it was organized, if there was leagues, if there were certain things that these guys were actually professional athletes, and this wasn't a hobby.
Sure.
I think you would see an elevation of curling. Not just, I mean, again, you actually see the elevation of curling. You see it in Asia, right? You see it in Europe. Because, I mean, Canada was the standard of all standards, right? Sure. And now when you're playing other places, you're like, whoa, okay,
yeah,
you know.
Listen, nothing guaranteed in Canadian curling
No,
anymore.
and then, you know, you saw Adine was kind of the top for a while, and now you got these young kids that are just like, okay, we're going to push you to the next level. And you see, especially in the Asian culture, you see them throwing a ton of money into their younger ones, and they're creating these academies, pathways, right? Yeah. So yeah, I 100%. You see how other countries have handled it. And like you said, in 2018, we had the world champions who came from, I mean, it's like the greatest Cinderella story ever. And it was talked about here for a few weeks, a month, but there was absolutely no real traction formed on that. And then now we are 2 Olympics removed, or, you know, one removed, almost going to our second since.
And U.S. still has to qualify.
And we still haven't qualified.
Right.
You know, and so that's, you know, again, how do you just simply 8 years ago from being gold medalist to being in the situation? That means it's been mismanaged, you know, along the way. And again, I say that with utmost respect, but the reality is the reality. And if you look at other sports leagues, right, you look at other organizations, and you have the possibility, and you have the density of the population of curling fans and curlers, you know, up in the north and the northeast and stuff like that. I mean, even in you're like, you get little Tahoe,
everywhere,
and they're coming up from the Bay Area, right? You got the Bay Area clubs, you got people coming up here, you know. So again, I really think what the guys over at the curling club and GSOC are doing is really going to pick up.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. I love John, I love Schuster, and I love those guys over there, man. They're great people, and I wish we would have seen more of a push. And part of it is though too, I mean, they didn't know how to handle it, right? It wasn't like they had a PR team, you know, getting them in the right positions. They're kind of just going like, hey, someone wants me to come give an interview.
First pitch, tip off.
Yeah, whatever,
you want
right?
me next?
So it was all this exposure with no landing, right? It's kind of like,
and then nothing.
Yeah, it's like, how do you monetize content? You got to have a landing page, and so they had all this content with no landing page.
Yeah.
And that's where I argue here in the States, we have got to do a better job.
Yeah.
And you know, whether that's eventually getting into the college ranks, right? You have feeder leagues to the college ranks. You got, you know, and I'm a big Western. I'm rope and I rodeo and stuff, and I see what it's very similar to rodeo.
Sure.
Right, and a lot of these rodeo companies, like you got the PBR that pulled bull riding off.
That's right.
Doing massive things. Now they're creating team sports. You have the Hondo Rodeo, which is going on this weekend down in Arizona, which is like same thing, kind of top 15. These events, big music festival, really making it a fan experience, right? Because I think that's the thing. The fans want to be entertained, so that's going to bring in the
curling fans like a party.
Yes, and that's going to bring in the money.
Yeah.
And that's how you get your athletes exposure to fans.
Sure.
Right, and so hopefully it continues to grow. Hopefully the U.S. qualifies and does well, because I do believe USA curling is great for curling, right?
Needs to be in the Olympics.
It needs to be at the Olympics.
Part of the storytelling, all of that.
Correct. And there's some great athletes that no one knows about.
And that Olympic shine. A couple more. I want to give you a chance to talk about the GSOC Military Invitational. We have 5 teams coming. It strikes me that Veterans Day is coming up, Remembrance Day in Canada. Your grandfather and brother served in the Marines, Wounded Warriors. Great work there, Jared. So over to you, maybe about some thoughts on that.
That's awesome. Again, you're giving our men and women another avenue, another pathway when they come home. Right, to compete, whether it's therapeutic, whether it's whatever that need is, it's there. And I mean, it was taught to me at a very young age that the reason I got to do what I got to do was because of the men and women of our armed services. And as someone who has taken every advantage of the opportunities this country has given me. And I say obligation in the most joyful way, but it's my patriotic obligation and duty to give back, right? To much given, much is expected. And so for me, it's a no-brainer. We've been building homes since 2009 for wounded vets all over the country. We give them to them free and clear when we're done. And we'll keep doing that until the need is no more. But yeah, any organization that's supporting military, that is providing new pathways, new opportunities, new camaraderies, whatever that outlet is needed for, whether it's just competition, whether it's fun, whether it's therapeutic, again, they only know, but such a cool deal for, everybody here at GSOC to recognize where we're at. Like you said, Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day here, and give the true heroes of this world, the true heroes, their opportunity to shine, right? Give them their limelight, give them their ability to compete, and I think that's what it's all about. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see those.
It's gonna be special.
Yeah.
Hey, last one. You ready to shock the world here in Tahoe this
Oh,
week?
absolutely, absolutely.
How's the team gonna do?
Good. You know what? We're gonna be competitive for sure. The reality is, I think this is the cool part when you're playing with legends, right? There's no like this false bravado. There's none of this, yeah, we're going to go smash people. And it's like, hey, listen, we're older than everybody. I was joking with the Swiss team. I was like, what's the oldest player on your team?
Right.
Like, 28. I'm like, you son of a gun. I think Jason's the youngest at 41, right? Or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so they're going to outsweep us. That's going to happen. I was like, and I'm going to be the main sweeper. And so I've already admitted that. I'm like, I'm going to do my best, but they're going to outsweep us. So, I think that's where, we talked about in our team. It's like, hey, let's make the routine shots.
Yes.
Let's put ourselves, if we can hang close, if we can be down 2 in the 8th, right? If we can be in certain situations and be like, hey, okay, whoa. Not like, crap, we're down 2 in 8th. We find ourselves down a couple in late innings, like, Dan's like, oh, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I just used the baseball reference. We were just talking.
Hey, we were talking World Series, so I'm still getting over that Blue Jays loss, man.
Oh, so yeah, I think the team, we're ready. Like, we're competent. Again, when you're playing for Johnny Moe and Wayne, I always butcher his name. I say Middaugh, but it's
Middaugh.
Middaugh.
Yeah.
There must be a French pronunciation. So, I mean, it brings out confidence in you, right? And I'm laughing with Jason. I'm like, oh, Jason, you were only a 2010 Olympian.
Johnny's won it twice.
Twice.
Unbelievable.
Wayne's won 3 world championships at 3 different positions. So yeah, I think the team is confident. I think we know what we got to do. And that's going to be the thing is can we force some errors late in some ends, right? And that's what they have to prepare against, right? These young teams are like, hold on. If these guys are still with us in late ends, we're playing with house money. All the pressure's on them. And I think that's the fun spot to be in. So don't let us go on a run because I love to win and I am arrogant about it. Oh, sucks to be you.
Heart of a champion. Good luck this week.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.